Carlton. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Wendy Gillette in New York. Tensions keep escalating on the Korean Peninsula.
South Korean aircraft, including F-35A stealth fighters, scrambled after several hundred North Korean warplanes were spotted north of the country's border. That action followed an unusual upsurge in North Korean missile launches, including a possible ICBM. South Korea and the U.S. were their current largest ever joint military drills. Pyongyang has slammed the exercises as provocative. Lucy Kraft, CBS News, Tokyo.
The Labor Department's report shows employers added 261,000 jobs last month, more than economists expected. The unemployment rate went up 0.2 to 3.7%. Unlimited Funds CEO Bob Elliott.
The biggest takeaway from the jobs report from today is that the labor market remains secularly strong.
The strongest gains were in healthcare, professional and technical services, and manufacturing. Republicans have a strong shot to win back both the House and Senate on Tuesday. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports from Rhode Island on the party's mix of candidates.
Republicans are focused on picking up this seat and several others, and they're trying to do it with the most diverse class ever of House Republican candidates. 89 Black, Latino, Native American, and Asian contenders across the country.
Mi nombre es Yesmi Vega y yo apruebo este mensaje.
Me too. The GOP is also competing hard for seats across New England. Rhode Island, for example, hasn't elected a Republican to Congress in more than 20 years.
Tornadoes are possible in some states and snow.
There will be a significant severe weather threat today, including tornadoes across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Jeff Castle is chief meteorologist at CBS TV affiliate KSLA in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Things come together just right. There could be the potential for maybe a higher end type of tornado. We're talking EF2 or stronger.
The Northern Rockies will see a major early season winter storm. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
The Powerball jackpot is now an astonishing $1.5 billion.
There have been 39 straight Powerball drawings without a big winner, but you do get another shot at your champagne wishes and caviar dreams tomorrow. Has soared to $1.5 billion. You feeling lucky this time? Your chances of winning are still insane. 1 in 292 mil. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Following the release of the jobs report, stock futures are up. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill. Fords. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings and you can regularly save 10, 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's fuel rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
George Thorogood, bad of the ball, shaking down the thunder. Wednesday, December 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Plug in and rock hard. Tickets start at $45. On sale Saturday at the box office and etickets.com. Party starts here. George Thorogood and the Destroyer. Wednesday, December 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52,
36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. W News.
Cloudy skies and 58 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A 7-year-old boy died just days after he accidentally shot himself in the head Monday in Bridgeport Township. Township police were called to the Bavarian Village Apartments just after midnight and found the boy with a gunshot wound to his head. The boy was rushed to Covenant Healthcare Hospital in Saginaw, then transferred to the University of Michigan's C.S. Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, where he was pronounced dead Wednesday night. 28-year-old Takia Lane was arraigned Wednesday on a charge of second-degree child abuse. Investigators say it was with her unsecured gun the boy shot at, lodged in the Saginaw County Jail and faces up to 10 years in prison. A well-known Bay City businessman has died. Art Dorr passed away yesterday at the age of 86. His passing was announced by his daughter Beth in a social media post. Dorr was the owner of a number of businesses in the Bay City area, including his demolition company Dorr & Associates. He also played a role in the success of many other business ventures. According to Beth Dorr's web post, funeral services are still being arranged and will be announced soon. As we prepare to set our clocks back an hour this Sunday, the Saginaw Fire Department is reminding residents now is also a good time to change the battery. According to the National Fire Protection Association, 71% of smoke alarms that failed to operate had missing, disconnected, or dead batteries. Change your clock, change your battery is a simple phrase that reminds us to always make sure we have working smoke alarms in our homes. Residents with questions or needing assistance are encouraged to call the Saginaw Fire Department Fire Prevention Division at 989-759-1393. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
The Bay City Noon Optimist Club's 30th annual Travel and Adventure Film Series begins Monday, November 7th at 7 p.m. at the State Theater in downtown Bay City. Join us for Rick Ray's saying the word safari to any traveler instantly conjures up images of savannas, lions, herds of migrating wildebeests, and the luxury of a bygone era. This and more is explored in Rick Ray's new film, East African Safari. From planning a trip to where we go and what to see, we will explore the safari destinations of Kenya and Tanzania, topping it off with a trek to visit the mountain gorillas of Rwanda. Included in our East African Safari will be stops in Nairobi, Masai Mara, Abucheli, Kilimanjaro, Ngorongoro, Tarangire, and the Serengeti Plains, to name a few. Season tickets are available in advance at Herder Music or the State Theater for $25. Individual show tickets are $10. Series sponsored by ABS Retirement Planning Advisors, Paramount Rehabilitation, and Summit Printing. Underwritten by Independent Bank. Theater sponsored by Rivers Bend Rehabilitation.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. 6 alleged vigilantes have been indicted for the kidnapping and beating of a man they wrongly thought was. Federal prosecutors say 21-year-old Cortez Blake was the victim in the carjacking, is one of the Detroit men charged. The men are accused of attacking the victim in retaliation. U.S. Attorney Dawn Eisen says the case is stunning and that the charges show street justice will not be tolerated. If convicted, the men face up to life in prison and a $250,000 fine. As Stellantis warns people not to drive certain big cars, it serves as a reminder that an important recall is far from over. Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert has the details in this story.
While the 05 through 2010 Challengers, Chargers, Magnums, and 300s carry a very large risk, there are 10 million vehicles still on the road with Takata airbags that have been recalled but not repaired.
It's a dangerous defect no matter what. If it deploys and manifests that defect, then the danger is there. So minor fender benders, we've seen fatalities in major crashes because of this defect.
Stephen Radella heads the recall team at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. He says you can go to their website to see if your vehicle has an open recall.
Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
New rules at the polls will stay in place for next week's election after a ruling by the state Supreme Court. Republicans challenged the rules put in place by Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, particularly one that bars poll watchers and challengers from having any electronic device like a phone, laptop, or smartwatches before polls close at 8 p.m. Supreme Court Justice Richard Bernstein said there are some legal issues to be decided, but not enough time before the election. WSGW News Time, 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly for today, though some cloudiness and maybe even a few showers are possible in parts of the area by mid to late afternoon. Highs will top out near 70 degrees. Winds south-southwesterly 5 to 15 miles per hour. Higher gusts possible. Tonight, any showers and early. Otherwise, gradual clearing. Lows drop to 58. Winds south 5 to 15. Higher gusts remain possible. And then Saturday, showers become likely by late in the afternoon or early in the evening, and highs make it into the upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Phil Jenska with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now it's 58.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you. Welcome to the Friday edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. Later on at 10 o'clock, we'll talk to Irene Hensinger about the Riverside Film Festival in Saginaw. We'll have open phones, time permitting. At 11 o'clock on Focus, Guy Grieve will tell us about the Noon Optimist Travelogue series in Bay City. Africa coming up. We'll tell you more about that later on. But for this hour, we're going to start out talking about a very serious subject, one that most people don't like to talk about, but really need to, and that's suicide. And we're going to do that with the founder of the Suicide Resource and Response Network. We say good morning to Barb Smith. Barb, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We are fine, thank you. I'm assuming I'm right when I say that, it's a topic that needs to be talked about and most people don't want to talk about it.
Yes, it can be uncomfortable for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable topic. Let's, before we get into some of the nitty gritty here, and I probably do this with you every time we talk, but I think it's important for people to understand how you got involved and how you created the Suicide Response Resource and Response Network.
Well, my brother John was 20 years old when he took his life, and at that point there wasn't a lot of support or care because of the stigma around it. So our families, suffered alone. Not, there was nowhere in Michigan. I think there was one group, but really no one talked about it back then. It was, many years ago. So I started the ongoing support group, and then that kind of led to being more of a network to where we could do prevention and aftercare.
So, when you look back at that, we often hear that that there are signs that someone may be wanting to injure themselves or take their own lives. As you look back on it, were there signs that were missed, do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We always say in our support group, we wish we knew then what we know now because we now have to know. So a lot of times there's a behavior change with people, or they might somewhat, say something about not being able to handle this anymore, or people would be better off without me, or I'm not going to live this way. And, we don't really connect about suicide. We just think that they're really struggling, but we never go to that question. We never address that. What are you really saying? So what am I missing here?
And it really is about awareness of those closest to the person, isn't it?
It is. It is. Oftentimes the family members are the ones that see it first, and then maybe coworkers or friends. So sometimes they kind of give little snippets to different people, but usually there's some type of a behavior change, and that's what we try and encourage people to acknowledge, that when there's a change in behavior, that means something has changed in their life, and we need to check it out.
So you created the Suicide Resource and Response Network. What services does it offer?
Well, our mission is to prevent suicide through education and awareness, and then connect people to resources or care. And then we care for people impacted. So we offer multiple trainings, from 1 hour to 2-day trainings. a prevention awareness, and then we offer a resource. So if you call in and you need help, connecting someone or just kind of how to have that conversation, we will guide you. So that's our resource. And then the aftercare, we have an ongoing support group. We meet twice a month. We hold different events, and we do something called Loss, which is, a unique opportunity to connect with people, soon after their loved one has taken their life. And we just kind of sit with the families and help guide and navigate through the early hours and days of that death, just because, no one can ever prepare for, and they kind of just walk around, dazed, like, what do we do now?
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of help them connect with the funeral homes and, other care.
Does how do I phrase this? Does the pain ever subside?
The pain changes. The pain definitely changes, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. Initially, I'm working with a mom recently who just said she can't even breathe. Like, she can't even get out of bed. It's like somebody is just, has this knife in her heart. Just, it's like a stabbing, constant pain. And then we just, with some work and grief work and support, but it's sort of like someone just kind of severing your right arm, right? It's just that horrible, horrific pain. And as the years go on, you have a prosthesis, you start to live without it, but you're never whole again. But you're changed. You're not destroyed. You're changed.
Does someone who joins your group settings after losing someone, is it, almost a lifelong commitment then?
Nope. My goal and our support group is I call it like the little nesting space, to allow us to create that nest and that safe space where they have a place to rest their hearts. And then our goal is to be able to fly again and to live again in a way that they never had expected to. So we do a little bit of education. We do sharing. It's nice. Some of the people who've been, 5 years, 6 years down their journey, the grief journey, help the new survivors just to say, look, I'm here. I can help other people now when I couldn't even help myself. So there's a little hope in the group too.
Given the fact that there appears to be far more conversation about mental health these days, and maybe the stigma of mental health has been reduced a little bit anyway, are we seeing that in terms of reductions in suicide?
Well, that's an interesting question. No. Well, in 2020, it was the first time our suicides had decreased, but oftentimes when there is a mass tragedy, suicide rates go down because people in community tend to come together and they're supportive. So suicide rates generally go down during the tragedy, whether it's a hurricane, flooding, war, COVID. So the rates had gone down in 2020, but a year after a tragedy, the rates will start to increase. Sort of like a funeral. People start coming around at the beginning, and after a year and 2 years, it's like, where did everybody go? So sort of the fallout is starting now. So we're seeing an increase again, which is really sad because we did really well. We cared for each other. We checked in with each other in 2020, and I think life is hard for a lot of people, but I want people to not just be aware. I want people to take trainings on how to be the helper.
One last question before I take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about the Hope Starts Here event. But given the nature of things today, inflation running high, people are feeling stressed because of financial problems. We're in a political season that's nastier than ever. Has this had impact?
I think it does. I think, that ripple effect, it starts in the community and it's in the people's homes. So wherever our kids are going, there's tension, there's stress, there's anxiousness. And then adults, we used to be kind during, during campaign season, and there's just so much anger and resentment, and not only in the politicians, but in families. And then with the financial stressors, there's couples that are having, marital stress, which then ripples down to our kids. The community, we just have to start it in our own homes. We have to create that space of comfort and safeness and structure, and then hopefully it'll, ripple off into the community.
All right, Barb, hang on. I'm going to take a break, come back, and we'll talk about Hope Starts Here. Talking to Barb Smith from the Suicide Resource and Response Network. More ahead on the Art Lewis Show. It's 9:20.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Virginia, Kansas, Berkeley, Ventura, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland, and Washington. Paul Young has been everywhere, man. But he hasn't spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young has been away from Michigan for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending over $1 million congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda in Congress, and it's not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting Medicare and Social Security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies against lower prescription prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. Paid for by House Majority PAC, theHouseMajorityPAC.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you GrabPlus.com? Check out our deals going on right now from Kokomo's Family Fun Center, Westside Decorating, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Applied Training Solutions, and Style Encore. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
More resilience in the job market. There were 261,000 new jobs created in October. Job growth was stronger than forecast. Leisure and hospitality increased in the month, so did healthcare and manufacturing. The unemployment rate rose to 3.7%. Fewer people were in the workforce. The labor force participation rate declined to 62.2%. Twitter is cutting staff this morning. There's speculation thousands of workers will be let go by email by 9 a.m. Pacific time. Hershey stock is rising after an upbeat quarter. Hershey is boosting its forecast for the year. Movie theater chain Cinemark saw a better than expected quarter. Its loss was smaller than a year ago. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Booth for Bishop Gold Group. Are you worried about your financial future as retirement gets closer? All over the country, soon-to-be retirees are fearing for their financial future as markets remain volatile. Bishop Gold Group helps you invest in gold and gold IRAs to protect your wealth and retirement during times of high inflation and wild swings in the market. Secure your future today. Contact Bishop Gold Group by dialing pound 250 from a mobile phone and say the keyword Bishop Gold or visit bishopgoldgroup.com.
Bernstein and Bolden on the bottom of the ballot.
What are you doing?
I'm getting ready to vote for the Michigan Supreme Court and need to remember the candidates who follow the Constitution, protect our rights and freedoms, and are fair and impartial.
Bernstein and Bolden?
Right, and because the race for the Michigan Supreme Court is found in the nonpartisan section of the ballot, near the bottom or the back, depending on where you live, you have to look for it.
Got it. So why Bernstein and Bolden?
Bernstein and Bolden will stand up against corruption in Michigan, believe in equal justice under the law, and want to protect the right to vote and ensure our votes are counted fairly.
What if I just vote straight ticket? Does that work?
No, because the Michigan Supreme Court races are nonpartisan. You still have to find ballot.
And I can vote for both Bernstein and Bolden?
That's right. You get to vote for two.
Now you got me saying it. Bernstein and Bolden on the bottom of the ballot.
Bernstein and Bolden on the bottom of the ballot. Paid for with regulated funds by Justice for All, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate playing the WSGW Holiday Home Makeover Contest. You enter the contest online at WSGW.com. When you enter, you choose one of the participating businesses where you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you're drawn as the random winner. Businesses to choose include Bay Landscaping Center, Designer's Touch Decorating in Freeland, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Begic Nursery and Garden Center, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Wolfiles Ace Hardware, Cluck Nursery, M&R Garage Doors and Openers, A Plus Plumbing, Midland Sand, West Side Decorating Center, Maple Hill Nursery, Roof Max, Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Delta Door Sales, Jolt Credit Union, Morse Clark Furniture. You can enter up to once per day and get bonus entries too. Look for the Holiday Home Makeover Contest box in the upper right-hand corner when you enter online, WSGW.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
to be coming together as Americans. About time, I say.
Till you guys screw up the list.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Barb Smith from the Suicide Resource and Response Network. And Barb, and correct me if I'm wrong, in about a week and a half, I guess it is the Saturday before Thanksgiving is International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day. And I know you always have an event, don't you? Hope starts here.
Yeah, we do. This year, as in previous years, we're at the Bavarian Inn Lodge in Frankenmuth. And it's a day to bring anyone who's been impacted by suicide together to offer them hope. With the numbers of deaths to suicide, there's actually about 19,000 people that have been severely affected by by individuals' suicides. So we want to bring a place where they can gather. And, with the holidays coming up, it's like one of the most difficult times for people. So we chose Frankenmuth. So it's a place where they can be cared for. It's $20 to attend. The speaker is Gwen Capsia, who is, she studies, death and dying. She's been one of the leads in grief in general. So she's going to bring hope and just different tools to survive through the holidays. And we have a panel of survivors of suicide loss, artwork, arts, and resource tables. And of course, the traditional chicken luncheon.
Have we made any progress in studying suicide, what motivates someone, and how to intercede?
I think we have there's actually a model out there right now to help support people who've been impacted by suicide. The understanding that we need to comfort them earlier than later. We need to encourage and support groups and grief work, and then how to help them survive, and to not just survive, but to thrive. And then I'm on the Governor's Suicide Prevention Commission, and we're writing a state plan right now. So at the governor's level, we are now working at planning to help prevent suicide. So I feel like there's a lot of stigma around mental illness, but we need to take it a step forward further in case, people have thoughts of suicide and are impacted. So we're doing a little bit more work around this.
Prevention is the key word on any of these things. Do we do enough educating, particularly of young people?
I think that people are afraid to talk about it because they have that myth that if we talk about it, we're going to put the idea in someone's mind. And it's kind of like you said earlier, it's just kind of that untouchable subject, and people are uncomfortable having that conversation. But we need to not normalize it so that it's okay, but we need to normalize the conversation to remove the stigma. And, I have a sort of a pet peeve about that. It's like we're doing a lot of awareness campaigns, but what we need is when you talk about education, we want people to take trainings to learn how to help, not just be aware. That would be like diabetes, right? We put out eat heart, eat well, eat smart, but we still need insulin. We still need to do other things, and we need to educate and teach people how to help if someone is having a heart attack.
So,
for diabetes.
Well, it almost sounds like it's a multiple step process. And by that, I mean, it's not just awareness, but it starts with awareness. And then you need the training as to what to do once you become aware, don't you?
That's correct. And a part of me wants to flip it back. We have always done awareness first, but if we're going to encourage people to come forward and ask for help, we need to have people trained and better to help. Right? Like, to me, I think we've always done it wrong. Like, if we're telling people to go in for services and care, we need to teach those, people how to help them when they get there.
Yeah, well, I as I think about it, and I think about the way I asked that question, you're right, because the training has to come first, because part of the training is becoming aware.
Yeah, and what to do. Right, I can tell you all about CPR and why we should have it, but if you don't know how to do it when you need it,
yeah,
an individual is going to fall through the cracks.
You mentioned something earlier, which I want to talk about just for a second here, because there is the myth, I guess, out there that if I talk about suicide with someone, I'm putting the idea in their mind. There are ways to talk about it, and there are ways not to talk about it, I would assume.
Yeah, I think sometimes with other social media, it's not you, they do it to glamorize, right? They put it in movies and they talk about it in a real public way if it's, a public suicide. And when someone's really struggling with their mental health and or just in life, sometimes they glamorize it instead of using it to educate and prevent. So, for instance, your conversation is about education, awareness, what to do, where other people do it to glamorize. And when someone's vulnerable, it can actually increase the numbers of suicides, just like when we had, people in the media with Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain, and, they sort of glamorized it.
And, that's an interesting comment. I don't personally, thank the Lord, I have no one in my family and immediate surroundings that have ever committed suicide. So it's, in a way, it's hard to relate because I've not suffered through it. I understand it, but I've not suffered through it. But I have followed the careers of some professionals like Anthony Bourdain, the great chef, who took his own life. And on the surface, I said to myself, well, why would he do that? He had everything in the world. But then as you begin to look a little deeper, you found out there was a personal relationship that was going south, and there were all kinds of things happening in his life that were negative that you would never see. And that's true of a lot of people, isn't it?
It does, yeah. Yes, people wear a mask at some level. And then when they did the documentary on Anthony, I remember that, I don't know if you've seen it, they had all these nuggets of substance use, alcohol abuse, high-risk behaviors. And, you go back to people's story, and oftentimes you can see in their story there was someone who really was at risk of suicide. But I had a dad once say to me who lost his son, I knew my son was sad. I didn't know he was suicide sad.
And that's sad in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he could have been more aware and maybe done something. It's it's a difficult topic. Now, you've been dealing with it for a long, long time, but you have to come across a lot of people that don't want to talk about it at all in any way, shape, or form.
I think because I'm comfortable with it, I open up that door to encourage other people to be comfortable with it. If I do a presentation after, I would say 95% of my trainings or times I do awareness, I will have an individual come up in private and say, I just want you to know, I've never told anybody this, but my dad took his life when I was 15.
Wow.
And literally just had someone who was very prominent in our community. And I always thought it was my fault. My best friend took his life before I moved here, and no one knew. I was the last one to see him.
Yeah.
But it's because I made it comfortable.
Well, let's end with the Hope Starts Here. Where can people get more information on it, and what's the date of it?
The date is Saturday, November 19th at Bavarian Inn Lodge. It's the lodge over the bridge, but we do require people to pre-register. Just we have to make sure we have enough foods and spaces to sit. There are rooms discounted at the inn as well. They can call our work number, 989-781-5260. And extension 3 would be Julie to help them register offline. And remember that Gwen Capsia is our keynote, and it is required that, because of the content and it's a long day, age 15 and older, no children, just because it's a long day.
And
So
you don't have to be a victim of suicide, someone close to you. You be just someone who wants awareness and wants knowledge, right?
Well, this day is really for us to care for those impacted.
Okay.
Yep.
All
And
right.
it's funny, and I'm not disrespecting you, but I don't call my people victims. Our families are called survivors because we don't ever want them to be a victim of anything.
I hear that.
We want them to know. Yep. And so it's a good day. It's a day of hope, and it's great people coming together. Our vendors or resource tables are all caring people that want to be present with them. So they can call us at 989-781-5260, or our website is srrn.net, and they can register online as well.
Hope starts here. Well, having known Barb for a long time, you've given a lot of hope to a lot of people over the years. We wish it was different, but you are greatly appreciated for what you do.
Thank you so much. Always an honor to be on your show.
Thanks, Barb. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Barb Smith from the Suicide Resource and Response Network. Hope Starts Here event, the 19th in Frankenmuth. We will be back. Open phones for the remainder of this hour, 989-752-6111.
My name is Tarsha Works, and I'm running for Saginaw County Commissioner, District 3. I would love to have your vote on November 8th. I'm a small business owner of Tarsha Works Consulting. I am dedicated to serving my community, have experience with writing grant proposals, helping small business owners, and developing budgets. My reason for running for County Commissioner is to sit in the seat to help with job creation and to increase the tax. To have your vote on November 8th. Tarsha Works, paid for by the committee to elect Tarsha Works, Saginaw County Commissioner.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AA Wealth Management, LLC.
Since the pandemic, I'm so anxious all the time.
I can't sleep.
I need someone to talk to who's not going to judge me.
For emotional support any time of the day or night, talk to a Stay Well counselor. Dial 1-888-535-6136 and press 8. It's free and confidential, and one of the many ways to stay mentally healthy. Learn more at Michigan. Well, sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
This summer, I'm taking my premium audio with me everywhere I go. With Raycon. Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With 3 sound profiles to match whatever I'm listening to. Plus noise isolation and awareness mode. So I can choose to be immersed in sound or tune into my surroundings whenever I need to. I can listen while I travel or during a grueling workout with optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. These earbuds are comfortable enough for all-day wear, and they do not budge. With Raycon, I also get 8 hours of playtime and 32 hours of battery life. And I love this. They start at half the price of other premium audio brands. No wonder Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 49,000 5-star reviews. See for yourself what all the hype is about. Right now, you can go to buyraycon.com/Nick Cannon and get 15% off your Raycon order. That's buy Nick Cannon for 15% off. Buyraycon.com/Nick Cannon.
Michigan football is on WSGW.
4th and 1 for Michigan State. Peyton Thorne hands it off to Berger, and he's not going to get it, John.
That was great.
Ball's down, kick is on the way, and it is good. Jake Moody, 54 yards, hands it off to Corum, hesitates up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan, fires it, it's intercepted by Rod Moore, and that will do it.
The Paul Bunyan Trophy is back in Michigan's possession after the Wolverines routed the MSU Spartans. The 4th-ranked Wolverines must now keep their focus as they visit the Rutgers Scarlet Knights this Saturday night with coverage beginning at 6:30 p.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW. Kickoff is 7:30. Michigan football is brought to you by Lingual Equipment Company, Schaefer and Beerline Ram Truck in Frankenmuth, Zimmelmatic Irrigation Solutions, North Bloomfield Properties, and Wolf Files Ace Hardware in Saginaw. It's number 4 Michigan at Rutgers live Saturday night at 6. Radio WSGW.
Your home for Michigan Wolverines football is WSGW. Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. We'll get to our phones in just a moment. I just wanted to bring one thing up. This is one of those contrary stories to what we talk about a lot. We've talked about electric vehicles and how they're growing in popularity and they're being forced on us to some degree, and how Ford sold out its Lightning truck almost instantly. Well, here's another story from Ford, just the opposite. 2023, this was from the Detroit Free Press today. 2023 Ford Super Duty pickup had 52,000 orders in just 5 days. And they had to be ordered through dealers. They're not the online reserve it now like they did with the Lightning. There were 52,518 new orders in 5 days, averaging more than 10,000 trucks a day. So they have increased production at the plants that make the Super Duty truck. And that's the big dog. I mean, that's not the lightweight. That's the heavy duty truck for towing and things of that nature. Over 52,500 in a 5-day period. So it would seem the thirst for gasoline powered trucks is still there, and Ford has no plans to electrify the Super Duty either. Anyway, back to our original intent of calls. Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Hey, morning. I'll make this quick. Jean called the other day with her opinion about the Republican Party, which is fine. But she used an instant over at a Trump rally where Trump said, hit the guy, get him out of here, I'll pay for it. But when we look into that certain time, that guy was yelling racist slurs, and after he was kicked out, we find out that he was actually paid by the Clinton campaign to go there and be a disruptor. So I just wanted to say to her, before she starts accusing people, get your facts right.
Whoa. Okay. She had her facts right. She just didn't have the other side of it that you've just pointed out. He did say that, though. It's not that Trump didn't say it, but this guy was an interrupter that was there. But Trump did say it.
But it's quite convenient for the...
Yeah, you only point out one side.
It's quite convenient for the left to always...
Right, but...
Exactly. So, and you're saying, that the Republicans are quite violent. I'm not going to bring up, the Steve Scalise and that, but just a real quick one here. Lee Zeldin from New York was a Republican, Gene. He was attacked on stage. Another Republican just the other day was attacked on stage. A Republican in North Carolina, somebody did a drive-by shooting at his house. Now, Gene, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but bring facts when we're going to do it. That's all.
But that's also why I say, that's why I also say both sides, because there have been fanatics on both sides that think violence is the answer, and that's unfortunate. There's no place for it. No place for it.
No, it's not going to solve nothing. It's going to.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. It makes it worse for everybody. Absolutely, makes it worse for everybody. No two ways about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm not down with any of that. All right. I'll talk to you.
Good enough, Scott. Thanks. Bye now. Yeah. Listen. Violence is wrong. It is not the answer. People that somehow think that only their political position deserves attention, everybody else should be taken out because they don't agree with them. They're extremes, and there are extremes on both sides, and it's unfortunate in this day and age because people are getting hurt, people are dying, and there's just no place for it in American politics. Now, having said that, we have to remember we are a country formed by the gun. It's how we beat the British. Violence has been a part of our society from the beginning. but it's not the answer in politics. I mean, it's not the answer anymore either, the way countries are structured and weapons available. You know, it's devastating and nobody wins. Nobody wins. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and get Delmar and Saginaw when we return right after these notes.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. I don't have time for the national partisan nonsense of the week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name is Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row. Educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consider before investing.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Patriot Carpet Cleaning. You're going to get up to 850 square feet of your carpet clean for only $150. It's usually $300, but you are getting it half off. Patriot Carpet Cleaning uses a 3-step procedure to remove dirt and stains from your carpet. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Art Lewis here for WSGW, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a tundra wilderness tour. From Denali, you'll ride a luxury dome rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day, find Holland America's New Amsterdam for a 7-night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, plus stops in Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan before sailing the Inside Passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, send your address to me and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to artlewis@wsgw.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones. Delmar is in Saginaw. Delmar, good morning.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Two things. The first thing is on electric vehicles. We went over this before on the phone several months ago. The big leader in electric vehicles is going to be Toyota. Toyota, you probably know, developed. It was in the Wall Street Journal, and you can read it on popular science magazines too, the article. But they are developing the first solid-state battery. So what does that mean? It means it doesn't lose energy when it's cold. They don't overheat in the summertime. They can last 40 years on recharging, so you're not buying $8,000 for new batteries every 7 years.
Yeah.
And the best part about the solid-state battery, it doesn't take lithium, obviously, because it's solid-state. Runs on fluoride, and you get 650 miles on a charge.
Here's what's going to happen. This is my guess. See what you think of this, Delmar. And I understand the articles, and they think Toyota's going to run away with it. Toyota's going to lease that technology. They're going to sell that technology to others.
Yeah. They hold 203 patents on that solid-state battery.
Yeah, but they're going to make money on that, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
that technology will be,
General Motors?
that technology either will be shared or some other company will figure out how to do it and make their own. But typically, and you look historically, when these breakthroughs, that would be a watershed moment for a 650-mile battery and solid state.
Oh, yeah.
When
They
these
started
watershed
building that-
moments
they started
happen,
building that
everybody jumps on board.
They just started building that plant in December in North Carolina. They're in with Panasonic, the other battery company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When that battery hits the market, and people know they can travel now 600 some miles with a battery that they don't have to replace every 7 years for $8,000-9,000. It's amazing. And tell your viewers they can read that article in Popular Mechanics.
Yep, I have said on this program many times, until batteries get to that point where they're 500 miles and more, I'm not a buyer. But when a battery goes 650 miles, now I might be interested. And it's going to wake a lot of people up.
Wintertime too. It's not going to die in cold weather.
And not going to die in cold weather. And it's safer and all of those things. And it's cheaper. They don't have to mine the lithium. All that stuff is I understand all of that. And we'll find out when they finally produce it and see what it's going to cost. So that's the other side of it.
One more thing for your last caller, Scott that called. Tell him to go to factcheck.org on Hillary Clinton paying that disruptive person at the Trump rally.
Why was it debunked?
And, yeah, they debunked. Matter of fact, Fox News got sued for that and one other story that they came out with. Remember Seth Smith, the supposedly the computer guy that worked for Hillary Clinton, and Fox News came out and said the Democrats had him murdered because he was the one who erased all the emails, and Fox News had to come out and he had to apologize for both those, and then they never covered another word.
Yep. All right.
Tell Scott to use factcheck.org, and
all right,
he can get the facts before he gets all riled up.
All right. Have a good day, Delmer. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
You bet. Bye. Russ is in Saginaw. Russ, good morning.
Good morning. Easy one for you. I'm researching whether or not daylight savings time is going to survive. What is the current legislative status on that, if you know?
Nothing that I know of. There's a lot of talk, but I don't think there's any action.
Nothing.
I will have to double check that, but as far as I know, there's been talk and discussion about whether or not it's going to be daylight savings time, or whether or not it's going to be standard time, or whether or not it's not going to change at all. But as far as I know, and I could be wrong, but as far as I know, there's no immediate legislation sitting there. But I'll check on it. I will check on it. Well, let me ask you this. What would you prefer?
I prefer it to stay right like it is now, not change.
In other words, daylight savings time.
Yeah, but not change. The change is hard on people. I don't want to get where you get for this too.
Yeah, if it were to change, I would agree with you. I would rather have daylight savings time than standard time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, well, I've read that there was legislation, but we had states had to agree. All these, I can't find out.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm going to have to go looking at it and see what there is. But I know there's been a lot of talk.
Well, that's why I called you.
All right. Good enough, Russ. Thanks.
And that's a compliment.
Bye, Art. Thank you. Bye now. Rachel is in Bay City. Rachel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
Hey, when Scott called and you said there's violence on both sides and it's not acceptable and all of that. What are you talking about that there's violence on both sides?
There are idiots. There are idiots on both sides who will do violent acts.
What violent acts?
Well, how about the guy that invaded Pelosi's house? Why don't we start with that?
Oh, really? Have you read anything about that dude?
Yeah, I read a lot.
He's a nudist drug user.
Yeah.
With BLM and gay pride flags
so let
on
me.
the van. Wait, no,
Don't
talk
yell
over
at me.
On the van that he lives in Cuckoo Town, San Francisco, who lets criminals out. Like, that dude is a conservative? No, he's not. He's not a conservative. What examples can you give of conservative? They don't.
Okay.
They don't.
Okay.
That dude's not a conservative. He's not. He's a cuckoo. Who knows even what?
Listen, anybody that does that's a cuckoo in my book, left or right.
He's not a conservative. That's where I'm going with this, is that you say there's violence on both sides, but there is not violence on the conservative side.
Okay. Good enough.
Give an example of it.
I'm going to go find some. I'm going to go find some.
Wonderful, because you've said it many times.
I have,
and
I believe it.
It's not true. It's not true.
Okay.
It's not true.
All right. We'll go looking.
Of evidence of all of these lib radical Marxists having violent acts all over. And there is zero on the conservative side. They don't do that.
Well, nothing is absolute.
That's absolute, man.
Well, I
Okay.
don't buy it, but we'll find out. Good enough. Thanks,
Okay.
Rach. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a pause here and then come back and close out this hour of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW.
Kristen McDonald Rivet's allies were caught red-handed. The facts? A Michigan news outlet reported, quote, a TV station took the rare move of removing an ad attacking Miss Glenn because the ad was proven to be false. The truth? Big spending politicians created record inflation and cratered our economy. Michigan families pay the price. Radical Kristen McDonald Rivet supports the Biden-Pelosi $1 trillion spending bill that would crush Michigan families, making inflation so much worse. And she voted to give herself a taxpayer while voting to raise taxes on us. Soaring inflation, rampant spending, a destroyed economy. They spend, you pay. The Biden-Pelosi Rivet way. Kristen McDonald Rivet, radical and wrong for Michigan. Paid for with regulated funds by the Senate Republican Campaign Committee. Authorized by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, this is Mike Abraham here on Outdoor Magazine. First, Sergeant Mark Depew of the Michigan DNR. Then Tom Nelson from the American Archer TV show. Plus, Nick Green of MUCC. And in our third hour, it's Bernie Brzezinski of the Michigan Trappers and Predator Callers Association. Listen Saturday mornings at 6 and Sundays at 9 on WSGW.
All right, that's going to do it for the first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We come back, we're going to talk to Irene Hensinger about the Riverside Saginaw Film Festival. And that is what is ahead this morning. It all happens after news from CBS and the local report with Michael Percha here on WSGW. I'm Art Lewis, and we will be back with you right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Wendy Gillette in New York. South Korea says it spotted 180 North Korean warplanes near its borders, triggering the country to scramble its own. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer reports.
The South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff said that the North Korean planes were detected in several areas close to the border over a period of about 4 hours in the middle of the day.
All week, South Korea and the U.S. have been conducting their largest ever air drills. Yesterday, they decided to extend them, a decision North Korea has called a dangerous and awful mistake.
A new report from the Labor Department shows employers added 261,000 jobs last month, more than economists expected. That could influence how the Fed handles future rate hikes. CEO Bob Elliott.
It looks like with today's job report that there's still a fair amount of work to be done for the Fed.
Former President Trump is hinting about another possible run for the White House. Republicans could win back Congress in the midterm elections Tuesday. CBS News political analyst Leslie Sanchez on the importance of the Latino vote.
So Republicans are optimistic about this, but it's not just going to be in Texas, states like Texas. You'll start to see it in Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, states, and some of those battlegrounds where it's not, 1,000 votes, it's several hundred votes, and Latinos can make the difference.
Substantial layoffs are coming to Twitter. Reports on who could be on the chopping block.
One of the things we don't know is which teams are going to be hit. There are signs that Elon Musk didn't agree with the way that moderation was handled, and there have been rumors the security team may also be targeted.
Tornadoes could hit several states today in the Midwest and South. Jeff Castle is the chief meteorologist at KSLA TV in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Tornado potential right now looks highest across East Texas, maybe into a small part of Southwest Arkansas, as well as McCurtain County in Oklahoma.
A couple of very rich men may want to buy the Washington Wizards.
Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z into the pot. Bezos has ties to D.C. He owns the Washington Post. Then there's the deal his company Amazon recently signed with the NFL to broadcast Thursday Night Football. Jay-Z's company Rock Nation Sports represents several NFL athletes. He's also the live music entertainment strategist for the league. It's still unclear if either has spoken to owner Dan Snyder or his wife. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Just after the bell, stocks are higher. This is CBS News.
Make the hiring process work for you. With Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution, you can attract, interview, and hire candidates all at Indeed.com/credit.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals going on right now from Kokomo's Family Fun Center, Westside Decorating, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Applied Training Solutions, and Style Encore. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
Asthma,
diabetes, and you're 52,
36,
32, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune system to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor
about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
The big election is next week.
And tonight, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax talking about the real issues the big media won't. Inflation, parents' rights, the woke agenda, and a lot more. Rob Schmidt speaks with the candidates that will change America. Find out who's winning in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Nevada, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, North Carolina, New Hampshire, and many other places. Watch Rob Schmidt tonight on Newsmax. Millions are switching to Newsmax. Make the switch today.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 61 degrees at 10:05. Good. A man from Flint has pleaded guilty to committing 2 violent carjackings, one of which left a woman hospitalized with severe injuries. Federal prosecutors announced 20-year-old Darian Welch admitted to committing the carjackings on July 23rd last year in Grand Blanc and September 12th last year in Flint Township. In the first, Welch approached a woman who was pumping gas into her car and threatened her with a loaded gun, pressing it to her temple and demanding her keys. In the second event, he allegedly asked a woman for a ride to a nearby apartment building. She agreed, and after arriving at the apartment complex, prosecutors say Welch punched her, pulled her out of the vehicle before leading police on a high-speed chase and crashing the car into a utility pole. Welch faces 7 years to life in prison on the charge of brandishing a weapon while committing a carjacking, and a maximum of 25 years in prison for carjacking that resulted in seriously bodily harm. Welch's sentencing is scheduled for March 14th next year. A Huron County man was watching the morning, won a $1 million Powerball prize from the Michigan Lottery. Norman Doer of Ubley matched the 5 white balls in the October 19th drawing to win the big prize. His ticket matched 5 numbers, but not the Powerball number. He bought his winning ticket at Fast Freddy's at 2245 Main Street. Doer says he started playing the numbers in the Powerball game about 8 years ago, and when they showed up on the screen, he knew he was the winner. He paused the TV to look over the numbers a few times to make sure he hadn't made a mistake. The 62-year-old says he plans to save his winnings for retirement. WS time 10:07.
Save up to 50 Spa at the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Browse the largest display of hot tubs and swim spas in the region. See swim spas in action offering exercise, therapy, and fun all year long. Over 40 spas will be on display from 5 major brands at huge discounts. Financing is available and show admission and parking are free. That's the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Visit hottubexpo.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. Than that.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. 3 more people have been killed in the past 7 months by Takata airbag inflators that exploded and hurled shrapnel. Stellantis, formerly a Fiat Chrysler, said Wednesday people should not drive older Dodge and Chrysler cars until airbags are replaced. The cars were recalled in 2015. The 3 fatalities bring the worldwide death toll from Takata airbag inflators to at least 32, with 23 of those in the United States. A new government report on jobs is business editor Murray Feldman has this report.
Job growth has started to slow over the past couple of months, and it's expected that will continue when we see today's report. In September, the nation created 263,000 jobs. Economists expect we'll likely find out today that only 200,000 jobs were created during the month of October. That would still, though, be a fairly strong jobs report. I'm Murray Feldman, the Michigan News Network.
For Pence will be campaigning for Republican congressional candidates in Michigan today. Pence will campaign for Congressman Bill Huizenga in Portage this afternoon. Huizenga faces Democrat Joseph Alfonso, a newcomer to politics. Pence for Tom Barrett in Charlotte. Barrett is running against incumbent Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin. He continues to invest in a clean energy plan The 20-year Clean Vision Plan was released Thursday, outlining a transformation on how DTE will generate electricity with a modern grid. The plan increases in solar and wind while getting rid of coal plants. The company plans to end the use of coal by 2035 by retiring the Monroe and Bell River power plants, account for 40% of the energy. According to officials, the Monroe plant is one of the largest coal plants in the country, expected to close by 2028, earlier 40 dates. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see increasing cloud cover here for today with a high around 70 degrees. Winds out of the south around 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions, breezy, and a low around 60. Have a chance for some rain showers here late, cloudy skies, high of 68 degrees. Then on Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 64. Blue skies and sun, high of 57. Tuesday, sunny, high of 55. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Coming up in the days ahead is the Riverside Saginaw Film Festival. It's going to be November 10th through the 13th. We're going to talk about it this morning with the person we always talk to about it, and we are glad to have her back with us. We say good morning to Irene Hensinger. Irene, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Nice to be here.
How many years has the film festival been around now?
It started in 2007.
Wow.
This is 16th or 17th. We took 1 year off because of the pandemic, but other than that, in the community, showing contemporary films, art films, documentaries, narrative films, thought-provoking, entertaining films that just wouldn't otherwise come to this area.
And
that's what we're doing again this year.
Yeah, and it's changed a little bit too, because in the past you've had dozens and dozens of films. This time you have a smaller collection of films, but more opportunities to see them, if I've looked at it right. Is that the right way to look at it?
Yes, and before we had a single festival, a single large, long weekend festival about this time in early November at multiple venues throughout.
Right.
But now we have 3 festivals a year. This is the first of the 3, and then we'll have one at the end of March and one in May. And each of those will feature 6 or 7 films on a weekend, and it does make it more manageable for film goers who want to see all the films. It's doable. When we had 25 or 26 films in the same period of time, that was really not doable for most people.
And the other thing too is you now have, I guess I would almost call it a home in the Court Street Theater.
We do, and it's it's a wonderful theater. It's a real theater with seats and concessions and a great big screen and a wonderful sound system, easy access. So it's really been something that our film goers have appreciated, and it was one of the outcomes of the pandemic that kind of forced that, so that there's enough room there that we could and still can have socially distant seating, and so it's safe for people and it does seem to work really well. So we've now gone to this format for the last couple of years. So we've got, as I say, 3 of these festivals scheduled throughout this year and into next year.
And there's, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong about this. There's no season or total ticket anymore. It's $5 at the door for whatever you want to see, right?
Yeah. Is that a bargain? Or
Yeah, it's a bargain. Yes, it's a big bargain.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and no reservations needed. Just walk in the door, as I say, theater, and we can accommodate upwards of 400 people at a showing. And every one of our films is shown twice through the weekend so that people can hear about it or see it, and then somebody else can see it at another time.
all right, so let's take a look at these films and their genres and what they represent. So let's start, and I'll just go down the list here. Let's start with Boiling Point.
And Boiling Point is a drama. It's interesting. They shot it all in one take, and it follows a head chef at a high-end restaurant and talks about the difficulty he's having with his equipment and his team. And like all of our films, it won a number of awards. For this one, for Best Cinematography, Best Casting, and even the Best Supporting Actress, all in that one film. And that's one of the things we look at when we're choosing films from other festivals that were audience favorites or critics awards. And so almost all of our films, well, all of our films have won some awards. Some have won multiple awards.
And this film, you said, was done in one take?
One take.
Multiple cameras,
Yeah.
so they'd have edits, right? I assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they did not, stop and do an
Yeah.
art and
Yeah. It was
another day. And all of
literally
that.
literally a day in the life of her.
Yeah, kind of a stream of consciousness film, I guess you'd say.
Wow.
Which makes it unique.
All right, next one up, The Hero, A Hero, it's called.
Yes, actually, this time we have 2 Iranian. A Hero won the grand prize at Cannes, and another one for the writer-director. And it tells the story of a man who's put in prison because of some money he owes, and he has a 2-day leave, and he tries to convince his creditor to withdraw that portion, but I won't give the spoiler. Things don't go exactly as planned.
Yeah, don't spoil the end, right? Thank you very much.
No.
And the other film was Cave of Adullam.
Mm-hmm. Yes, actually, we've always looked for films with a local, regional Michigan connection where we can find them. And this year we have 2 of those. And this film, Cave of Adullam, won Tribeca Film Festival for the Best Documentary Feature. And it's a story of a martial arts sensei, Jason Wilson, in Detroit. And he works with young students with some tough love and some compassion in the martial arts and helps them. And again, was a top winner for the documentary. The other one is called Bad Axe, and that's our Bad Axe out in the thumb. And this one has won almost every award available as a documentary. And it's the struggles of an Asian American family out in the thumb as they fight to keep their restaurant. This is a real restaurant called Rachel's Restaurant, still open. They describe it as classy casual. And the dad escaped or came to this country from the killing fields debacle in Cambodia. His wife is originally from Mexico, and their children, and they have a restaurant, and they deal with the pandemic, and some family scars that the dad carried. It was filmed by the son of this couple. As I said, the restaurant's called Rachel's Restaurant, and you can still go to it out there out in Bad Axe. Yeah. So we're showing that, and the film's called Bad Axe.
All right.
So the Cave of Adullam and Bad Axe are two with some strong Michigan connections.
Very good. Hang on. We're going to take a break. We'll come back, talk more about some of the other films, and remind you the Riverside Saginaw Film Festival, November 10th through the 13th at the Court Theater. More ahead with Irene Hensinger when we return.
Z is for Zara. Re-elect Justice Zara for Michigan Supreme Court. Tough on crime. Independent. Above partisan politics. Justice Zara believes in the rule of law and will not legislate from the bench. Justice Zara is your champion for private property rights. Z is for Zara. Justice Zara. Re-elect Justice Brian Zara to the Michigan Supreme Court. Paid for by Michigan Realtors with regulated funds, not authorized by any candidate.
Hi, this is Jessica. If you're looking for a high time to open a cash reward checking at United Financial Credit Union, we'll reward you with 5% APY and reimburse your ATM fees. It's easy to get started and easy to earn rewards just by doing your normal banking activities each month. Contact us today to get started.
United Financial Credit Union. Serving the valley community.
Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. It's time for you to check out your local friendly credit union and see how we will put you first. Visit our website or give us a call to learn more today.
Some restrictions may apply. See credit union for details. Must meet eligibility requirements. Federally insured.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the valley community.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher, though the October employment report exceeded expectations with 261,000 new jobs created. The unemployment rate increased slightly to 3.7%, and the report does indicate the labor market has begun to cool slightly. The jobs created figure is the smallest since December of 2020. Twitter is expected to conduct massive layoffs today as Elon Musk takes over the company and Starbucks shares opened higher after record sales in its summer quarter. Hershey shares are gaining after an upbeat quarter. The company's raising its forecast for the year. And Virgin Galactic shares are higher. The space tourism company says it's on track to start commercial flights by the middle of next year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Starting to realize your small business is a little overwhelmed by the holiday rush? It's still not too late to get all of your shipping and mailing under control with Stamps.com. Sign up right now, and you'll be printing your own postage in just minutes with discounted USPS and UPS shipping rates. Just go to Stamps.com, click the mic at the top of the page, and use code BUSINESS for a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, code BUSINESS.
George Thorogood, bad of the ball, shaking down the thunder. Wednesday, December 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Plug in and rock hard. Tickets start at $45. On sale Saturday at the box office and etickets.com. The New Year's pre-party starts here. George Thorogood and the Destroyer. Wednesday, December 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
The WSGW Morning Team.
the WSW online poll. The next Michigan governor, Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th. The statewide candidates and proposals. The top of the ticket, of course, the Michigan governor. You will find 6 candidates and their running mates listed. We are just going to, for our poll purposes, list the candidates for governor only. Our poll, again, will end at 9 o'clock on election night, the official time that all the polls will close in the state of Michigan. So our poll question is, who are you going to vote for Michigan governor?
Are we going to go backward, or are we going to work together to drive our state forward?
From the Republican Party, Tudor Dixon.
Making certain Michigan's brightest days are yet to come.
From the Libertarian Party, Mary Bozuma. From the U.S. Taxpayers Party, Donald Brandenburg. From the Green Party, Kevin Hogan. From the Natural Law Party, Daryl M. Simpson. You head to WSW.com, scroll down the homepage, find our poll box, and make your vote that way.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
it's the Friday Five, and we're going to be coming together as Americans. About time, I say.
So you guys screw up the list.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back here on WSGW talking to Irene Hensinger about the Riverside Saginaw Film Festival, November 10th through the 13th at the Court Theater. Let's continue on with a couple of the other films. Hit the Road, what's that about?
This is also an Iranian drama, and it's a road trip of a family must deal with a sick dog, each other's nerves, and a mysteriously quiet older brother. And this film won the best film at the 2021 London Film Festival, among other awards. So again, all these films are award winners in other festivals, and that's one of the things that we look at as well as reviews and see them where we can. So, and these are all new films. We never show films that are more than a year old. So this is the freshest stuff out there.
A love song.
As a love song is a romantic picture. A woman is waiting in the rural West for an old flame to meet her from her past. Not sure about his intentions and not entirely sure about her own. And it stars Dale Dickey, who won the best performance at the most recent Seattle International Film Festival.
And the last,
there's another one that has to do with love as well.
Fire of Love.
Documentary. Yes. And this one, an award at Sundance Film Festival. It was the top documentary. And it's a true story about 2 scientists. And they died. Doesn't sound like a happy film. In a volcanic explosion. But what they were photographers of volcanoes. And it's the imagery is just spectacular in this film, and it's narrated by actress Miranda Julie. And again, a different kind of a movie, but beautiful, beautiful pictures. And you learn a lot about the inner workings of volcanoes, and they devoted their life to that and unfortunately gave their life in that pursuit.
Now let's take a look at the scheduling, because Thursday, the first day, there were only 2 showings. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 showings all at the same time. So let's talk about the scheduling. Thursday first.
Sure. There's a 4 o'clock and a 7 o'clock showing. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there's shows in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, and 7. That schedule is on our website, which is riversidesaginawfilmfestival.org. So you can see exactly when it is, and each film does show up twice. So if you don't see it on one day, it's being shown another time during the weekend.
Are there any special showings or special tickets, or is it just uniform across the board now?
It's uniform across the board. $5 cash at the door.
So this is the fall 2022 festival. You said there's another one coming up when, in March?
Yes, end of and then one in early May.
How far in advance do you pick the films?
Oh, we're looking at films all the time. As other festivals happen, and we hear reviews. So we're constantly looking, and then it's a matter of what is available to us that we're able to show, and we try to show films, as I say, that just you can't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
And even if sometimes you can, because they're streaming, and so many films go to streaming pretty quickly, there's no substitute for seeing it on a big screen.
That's true.
And
but now,
so we encourage people to talk about the films afterwards and gather and go for coffee and talk about the films.
All right. So now for the most important question of all. Will Tom Braley have the popcorn machine running?
Oh, you bet. You bet. The popcorn there is wonderful, and the drinks and all the other snacks that are available. And and it's, again, very affordable compared to other options.
Oh, absolutely. $5 a film is that's almost ridiculously cheap. Because it should be pointed out, it costs you money to get those films, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does, and it's gone up. And fortunately, we have people who agree to sponsor a film that helps pay for what we have to rent the film for, and we from local foundations that help offset it, so that we're able to. We're a nonprofit. We're not trying to make any money. We're just doing this really as a community service with all volunteer boards have been volunteer all along. I'm a volunteer. My board members, the people who take the tickets and do the marketing and all of that, are just doing it because they love Saginaw and they love the movies and are trying to put those two things together.
So the question, you mentioned volunteers. Is there room for people to volunteer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're always looking for people that can help us research films and bring to our consideration films that we wouldn't otherwise know about, and or to assist, be on our board, or just taking tickets or helping with marketing in the community. All of that is, and there's a place to indicate that on our website as well. And on that website are the trailers for each of those films. So you can go on the website and see a little more about what the film is going to be about.
All right. Well, November 10th through the 13th, the Riverside Saginaw Film Festival comes back to town. And sounds like you've got a great lineup of films, Irene. We hope you fill the theater.
Well, so do we, and we invite everyone to come and visit the Court Theater. If you've not been there, they've done significant renovations. Really a lovely theater, and there's easy parking. It's completely accessible for people who may have mobility issues. So what a perfect time to come enjoy some movies, and with other people who love the movies as well.
And we might as well give credit where credit is due. I mentioned Tom Braley before, but Tom and his lovely wife literally, took that theater and revived it, if you will, and rehabbed it, restored it. Did a beautiful, beautiful job. And it's kind of I call it, it's an intimate theater. It's not too huge to get you lost. I mean, it's 400 seats roughly in round numbers, and it's just a perfect place to see things close up.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, they've done a beautiful job, and they're lovely to work with, and lovely hosts to welcome people to their theater. And we encourage people to come and try it out.
Yep.
And
Try it, you'll like it.
Yeah, try it, you'll love it.
All right, Irene. Well, good luck with it, and thanks for spending a little time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
All right. Always like to talk to you, Art. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Irene Hensinger, she is the film executive director, if you will, of the Riverside Saginaw Film Festival, November 10th through the 13th at the Court Theater. Back with open phones after this.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. I don't have time for the national partisan nonsense of the week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
Are you maximizing every acre of your operation? How much yield and how many dollars might you be leaving out in the field? At Precision Planting, we believe in better. We believe we can all improve, and it's our goal to come alongside growers to help identify areas of opportunity and provide solutions that get the most crop production. We know you aren't satisfied with the status quo, and neither are we. From new technologies for your equipment to researching the latest crop production practices and inputs, we strive to not only provide the best products, but also to provide the best information possible to farmers around the world. You can learn more about Precision Planting, our products, and our mission at precisionplanting.com. That's precisionplanting.com. Precisionplanting.com. Or you can contact your local Precision Planting Premier dealer.
Hi, I'm Lisa Booth for Bishop Gold Group. Are you worried about your financial future as retirement gets closer? All over the country, soon-to-be retirees are fearing for their financial future as markets remain volatile. Bishop Gold Group helps you invest in gold and gold IRAs to protect your wealth and retirement during times of high inflation and wild swings in the market. Secure your future today. Contact pound 250 from a mobile phone and say the keyword Bishop Gold or visit bishopgoldgroup.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This summer, I'm taking my premium audio with me everywhere I go. With Raycon. Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With 3 sound profiles to match whatever I'm listening to, plus noise isolation and awareness mode. So I can choose to be immersed in sound or tune into my surroundings whenever I need to. I can listen while I travel or during a grueling workout with optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. These earbuds are comfortable enough for all-day wear, and they do not budge. With Raycon, I also get 8 hours of playtime and 32 hours of battery life. And I love this. They start at half the price of other premium audio brands. No wonder Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 49,000 5-star reviews. See for yourself what all the hype is about. Right now, you can go to buyraycon.com/Nick Cannon and get 15% off your Raycon order. /Nick Cannon for 15% off. Buyraycon.com/Nick Cannon.
The WSGW Morning Team.
We're officially welcoming Denise into the newsroom and the morning team. Denise Shannon did have one person question the spelling of Denise. D-E-N-Y-S-E. Most people, I would say, probably would say I-S-E.
I have had people say, you spell your name wrong. My parents picked my name, and my mom went to have me baptized. The priest wouldn't baptize me unless she changed the spelling of my name, because evidently there's a saint named Saint Dennis. And I found out since then that it doesn't make any difference whether it's an I or a Y, but this guy was just adamant about the fact that she needed to change my name. So she did. It was changed from an I to a Y.
Well, thank you for
I
listening.
Yeah. A couple of times I've heard people just say, why do you spell your name wrong? Because I can.
Art Lewis is called in.
I wanted to welcome Denise to the family.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW. You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, back with you here on WSGW. And before I get back to the phones, I want to thank listeners for reminding me of some things. Rachel had called and challenged me to come up with anyone from the right who ever did any violence at all. And I guess the ones that I thought about and the ones that some listeners reminded me of just off the top before we move on to any others, and there's probably more. The plot to kidnap Jennifer Whitmer, the invasion of the Capitol on January 6th, and the Oklahoma City bombing. Just off the top. Al is in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, sir. There's an interesting commercial there with, or the little promo you do with Denise or however that goes.
Denise.
Hey, we all have our names spelled the way we want them, I guess.
Yep.
The way we were born. Hey, on this factcheck.org, I like everything else, I don't trust everything until I do a little research. And I come up with some information. To some extent, they're dishonest fact checkers.
Oh, and why is that?
They have a left-leaning, left-wing bias leaning. When the guy was alive, when Walter Annenberg was alive, it was pretty straightforward. And since he passed on, the swing of the pendulum on what they do for work, it's leaned left. My research goes back to Capital Research Center, the Center for Public Integrity, and allsides.com. It says, don't be fooled by media bias and misinformation. So I do a little research on a whole bunch of things. I don't trust one particular website the same as I don't trust one news source. And people that can't listen to the other side, there are folks that say they can't listen to Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Well, that's a news source to some extent. They may do it in an entertaining way, but it's a news source. And I look at all news sources or all those information things as valuable, and I want to hear from all of them. When your station carried Tom Bodette, Jim Hightower, a whole bunch of these left-wing people, I listened to them. Knew they were biased, but I still listened to them because I want to know what they think. And I do more research than just one factcheck.org.
Yeah, well, that's smart.
Them anymore.
Yeah, it's smart.
I know that they're a left-wing leaning bias, and they have been for years since Walter Annenberg passed on. Ever since he's not been there to keep an eye on things, they do their own thing. And they said things about CNN that were CNN was reporting accurate news, and CNN was reporting misinformation. And they gave a gold star and 4 whatever it is, 4 check marks or 4 stars to information being accurate. And CNN was lying.
All right.
So Annenberg cannot be trusted completely.
All right.
So
I'm going to have to end it there, Al, because I have a guest I have to get to.
Okay.
We'll talk more about it. Thanks.
Have a
Bye-bye.
nice weekend. Bye now.
There is an organization in our area called the D Street Music Foundation, an event coming up, and we're going to talk to Dave Dower right now. Dave, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Good. Before we get to the specifics, give us a little overview of the D Street Music Foundation again.
Well, D Street Music Foundation is a nonprofit 501c3, and we're all about trying to have a better understanding in the community and all the different ways that music can touch someone's life and improve it. The programs that we offer and provide to the community are we have a musical instrument program called Bandwagon, where we take musical instruments donated to us and refurbish them and give them back out to kids and adults that have an interest in learning how to play music. And we put on concerts as well. Generally, they're free or very low cost. And we have one coming up Saturday, November 5th, that I was hoping to tell your listeners about.
Well, we'll do that. I'm going to take a break first, though, and then we'll come back and we'll have plenty of time to talk about it with Dave from D Street Music Foundation. More ahead.
Baking cakes wasn't part of Edible's original game plan, but who can resist a slice of rich chocolate cake topped with strawberries and whipped frosting? Probably not you, and definitely not us. Sweet for sharing or sweet for snacking on your own, these chocolate masterpieces are just the right size for birthday parties or those random treats for yourself. Find a store near you at edible.com and pick up your chocolate cake with strawberries and whipped frosting today. Be sweet today with the Sweet from Edible arrangements on Tittabawassee and Saginaw.
Virginia, Canada, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland, and Washington. Paul Young has been everywhere, man. But he hasn't spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young has been away from Michigan for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending over $1 million of his fortune to buy a congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda in Congress, and it's not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting Medicare and Social Security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies. Prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. Paid for by House Majority PAC, theHouseMajorityPAC.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Living with metastatic breast cancer can be overwhelming.
When I received my diagnosis, I didn't need anyone to tell me I was strong. What I needed was more time.
Verzenio, abemaciclib, 150 milligram tablets plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. In a clinical study, women taking Verzenio in combination with fulvestrant live significantly longer for a median of 46.7 months versus 37.3 months on fulvestrant alone. Or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate. Common side effects include nausea, infections, low blood cells and platelets, decreased appetite, headache, abdominal pain, fatigue, vomiting, and hair thinning or loss. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medications you take, and if you're nursing, pregnant, or plan to be pregnant.
Strength is one thing. The chances then, that's everything.
With Verzenio, more time is possible. Ask your doctor if Verzenio is right for you and visit Verzenio.com or 1-844-837-9364. Verzenio is available by prescription only.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens Find Rx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/med.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Patriot Carpet Cleaning. You are going to get up to 850 square feet of your carpet clean for only $150. It's usually $300, but you are getting it half off. Patriot Carpet Cleaning uses a 3-step procedure to remove dirt and stains from your carpet. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
The WSGW Food for Families campaign is underway for 2022, presented by Pioneer Sugar. We are asking of listeners to make non-perishable food donations to help those in need in the Great Lakes Bay region. Various businesses will serve as donation locations over the next several weeks. All food will be collected and distributed by the Salvation Army in Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties. You can make Food for Families donations during regular business hours at Crane's L&M Appliance Center, 3260 Bay Road in Saginaw. The Vassar Building Center, 1013 West Saginaw Road, top of the hill in Vassar. Thumb Bank, located at Wilder Road in Bay City. For a complete listing of donation locations, visit WSGW.com and click on the Food for Families box. Once again, for supporting the Food for Families campaign presented by Pioneer Sugar right here on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. I got my fat fingers working here. They didn't work the way I wanted them to. Anyway, we're talking to Dave at D Street Music Foundation. Big event coming up tomorrow. So let's talk about that a little bit, Dave. Tell us about it.
Sure. It's Steve Seskins, who is he's written several #1 songs for a lot of famous performers, and we brought him in to do a workshop and a concert, that songwriting workshop. And the songwriting workshop is actually filled up, and now we're really trying to promote the concert. It's from 5 to 7. It's at the Grace A. Dow Library, and that's here in Midland. So wanting to get the word out about the work that Steve does and the message that he sends out to kids. And it's a family event, something that you can bring your kids to and the whole family can enjoy and really walk away with a strong message behind the event.
Is there a cost to attend?
The cost for the tickets is $20. Yeah, thank you.
And, you know, if I read his background right, he has written a boatload of songs recorded by a lot of popular artists.
Yeah, he really has. And, you know, he writes with a lot of behind his songs and a lot of philosophical messages. And one of the songs that he wrote about is called Don't Laugh at Me, which was later recorded by Peter, Paul, and Mary. And that song has a real strong anti-bullying message, you know, that we're, you know, proud to bring him in and get that message across to the community because it's really important.
If his music's been recorded by Peter, Paul, and Mary, I have to assume he's been around for a while, because I noticed Waylon Jennings and a few other of the old-time artists have recorded some of his music.
Right, exactly. But we're really looking forward to this message out to your listeners that this concert is available, like I said, tomorrow, November 5th at the Grace A. Dow Library from 5 to 7, and the cost is $20.
So let's talk a little bit about there's a name you guys use for some of your concerts, Parkapalooza. What is it? How did it come about?
You know, Parkapalooza was a joint event. Actually started with Ed Kearns, who's our president. At the time, was working with Midland County Parks, and I sat down and dreamed up event, and it's been going on for 17, 18 years now.
Is that right? It's been, how long has the organization been around?
That same amount of time. Yep, we've been doing it for 18 years.
What else does the organization do? What other things do you have?
You know, one of the things we're real proud about is the scholarships that we offer, not only to students, but, you know, we've had a couple of cases where we've provided for other things as well to organizations. But in fact, we're awarding a scholarship to a recipient at the concert. So I think we're up to two $1,000 scholarships a year that we offer to students.
And the other program you had, you touched on it briefly, is the Bandwagon, your instrument library program. Tell us how this works.
We take in musical equipment that's donated from individuals, and if there's something wrong with it, we refurbish it and we put it into our library, and then individuals can request that piece of musical equipment, and essentially we loan it to them for the length of time that they're interested in either learning how to play it or to play it. And then if they're not going to use it anymore, then we, ask they give it back. But we've been doing that for as long as the organization's been around. And that really, it's a touching thing when someone gets an instrument that they, wanted to learn how to play, but they couldn't afford. And it really makes a difference to them.
So if somebody has an instrument and wants to donate it, what's the process?
Contact us through dstreet.org. And we will get back to them and go from there. Generally, we'll just pick the item up and do a review of it. We're not picking up pianos, but other items like that we'll pick up and refurbish if there's an opportunity to get that instrument back out. People who are in need, then that's what we do.
You probably won't pick up a piano, but I'll bet you'd pick up an electric keyboard if somebody had one.
We actually get a lot of offers for electric keyboards too. So I'm not sure how many we have in inventory at the moment, but I'm sure we've got a couple.
And you do refurbish all these instruments?
We do. Yeah. Some of them are a little more expensive to refurbish than others, but yeah, we'll refurbish those and try to get them back.
For example, if somebody were to donate, let me pick an instrument, a clarinet, and maybe the pads are dried and needs new pads, do you repad the instrument then?
We do. Yeah.
So you do a lot of work on them. You make them as good as new.
Yeah. And Beth and Bob Hausler, who are really behind bringing Steve Seskins to this event, have done an incredible job with that program, the Bandwagon program. They've really put a lot of time and effort into, making that program, getting the word out to the band teachers, the schools. It's not an easy program to promote, but they've done an exceptional.
All right, let's leave everybody with a reminder about the Steve Seskin event tomorrow.
Sure. November 5th, the Grace A. Dow Library from 5 to 7 p.m. The cost is $20. You can purchase tickets now at our website, which is dstreet.org, or you can purchase tickets at the door as well.
Very good. Dave, listen, I always appreciate chatting with you. Thanks.
Thanks, Art. We appreciate your time.
Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
You too. Bye-bye.
And if you plan on attending, if you've not been to the Grace A. Dow Library, the address for your GPS is 1710 West St. Andrews, and that'll get you there.
Kristen McDonald Rivet's allies were caught red-handed lying about Annette Glenn. The facts? A Michigan news outlet reported, quote, a TV station took the rare move of removing an ad attacking Miss Glenn because the ad was proven to be false. The truth? Big spending politicians created record inflation and cratered our economy. Michigan families pay the price. Radical Kristen McDonald Rivet supports the Biden-Pelosi trillion-dollar spending bill that would crush Michigan families, making inflation so much worse. And she voted to give herself a taxpayer-funded pay raise while voting to raise taxes on us. Rampant spending, a destroyed economy. They spend, you pay. The Biden-Pelosi Rivet way. Kristen McDonald Rivet, radical and wrong for Michigan. Paid for with regulated funds by the Senate Republican Campaign Committee. Authorized by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for this Friday. Thank you for joining us. We're going to move over now for Focus. And on Focus today, we're going to talk about the Bay City Noon Optimist Club Travelogue series, one of them coming up on Monday. And we'll talk to Guy Grieve about that. Before that, though, news from CBS and, of course, the local report with Michael Perchip. We'll be back with Focus.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Steve Kathan. The latest evidence is employers are still adding jobs. Good news for this retiree looking for work.
Something just to get us out of the house and maybe put a little money in the pocket.
The government says employers tacked on 261,000 jobs in October. The unemployment rate checked in at 3.7%, just off the recent half-century. .com's Mark Hamrick.
Over the next year, the pace of hiring may slow sharply if, as many expect, the unemployment rate edges up over the 4% level. That's in the context of a high likelihood of a recession, but the severity or magnitude of such an economic contraction is very difficult to forecast.
A company that just changed hands is getting rid of a lot of workers today.
Twitter employees are tweeting their final goodbyes. It's not known how many of the company's 7,500 workers will lose their jobs in the wake of Elon Musk's takeover, but many Twitter users are concerned about how the moderation. Larry Roberts is pleading with Musk to censor hate speech.
Social media should be for sharing information, not for trolling people and sharing hateful content.
Meanwhile, according to the Wall Street Journal, a growing number of companies, including Audi, General Mills, and Pfizer, are also pausing advertising on Twitter. Matt Bigler for CBS News, San Francisco.
Last night, former President Trump told a GOP rally he will, quote, very probably do it again. A reference to running in 2024. CBS's Ed O'Keefe tells us Trump's been reaching out to donors before any announcement expected after the midterms.
Democrats would love nothing more for him to know that it helps them, especially in these toss-up races in the Senate and the House, because a lot of the places where Republicans are poised to win, both in Senate races, governor's races, House races, are the kind of places where the GOP wasn't doing well when Donald Trump was president.
In the all-important Pennsylvania Senate race, Republican Dr. Oz, who rose to fame on Oprah Winfrey's show, did not get her endorsement. She says she's backing Democrat John Fetterman. Overseas, there's been more military muscle flexing on the Korean Peninsula, as we hear from CBS's Lucy Kraft.
South Korean aircraft, including F-35A stealth fighters, scrambled after several hundred North Korean warplanes were border. That action followed an unusual upsurge in North Korean missile launches, including a possible ICBM.
Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes is on the stand today in his seditious conspiracy trial. Prosecutors spent weeks laying out their case against him and 4 others. Wall Street. Right now, the Dow is up about 500 points. The S&P is up 61. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner, you can save a ton of money on a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 888-74-STEEL and get a quote today.
Enjoy the best of yacht rock for the holiday. River Band. Let me take a look at you now. Same show, same night. Ambrosia. Saturday, December 17th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $32. On sale now at the box office or etix.com. Party and play with Little River Band and Ambrosia. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Brunches, chef specials, date nights, happy hours. Moments like these are made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine.
My taste buds have missed this.
So let's savor
the dining out going, keep the togetherness going by keeping your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Find your vaccine at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals going on right now from Kokomo's Family Fun Center, Westside Decorating, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Applied Training Solutions, and Style Encore. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 64 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A joke on social media and comments from young people about not being ready for lives as adults prompted the director of youth and family at the Dow Bay Area Family YMCA to want to fill that knowledge gap. Melissa Preston says a few of the topics they'll cover are job interviewing, budgeting, car care, and household management. But a lot of young people come away from school not knowing about critical life skills, including how to put together a resume or look for a job.
It's a major thing for us is that we create well-rounded individuals, and I feel those two topics are something that teens don't get a lot of exposure to until they either enter a job market or they turn 18 and they transition out. And at that point, you know, how do you do all of the things it takes to become a registered voter? Or how do you do all the things it takes to make sure your taxes are all squared away at the end of the year?
The Y is offering a 6-week course called Almost Adulting and will bring in business owners and experts to help teach young people these life skills. Classes are funded by the Bay County United Way and open to the public. To register or for more information, go to ymcabaycity.org. The Saginaw Community Foundation is now accepting scholarship applications for 2023. High school, college, and non-traditional students who are pursuing post-secondary education can apply for over 235 scholarships available through the organization by filling out one single online form. According to the foundation, many of the scholarships being offered are awarded to multiple students, and each recipient can be awarded more than one scholarship. Earlier this year, over $920,000 was given to a total of 378 students through 692 scholarships. Applications and other resources for students can be found at saginawfoundation.org. The deadline February 10th, 2023. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace. Fall in love with over 30 small businesses ready to serve you. Global flavors from Saigon Sandwich, American favorites from Big O Burger and Barbecue, retail therapy with Ahana Clothing, and can't forget sweet treats from Iron Dragon Pastries coming soon. Located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront Saginaw. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small business, and we hope to see you at the market. This is Rachel from the boardroom, located at 203 SVRC Marketplace. Experience our new menu and our historic atmosphere. Custom burgers, flatbreads, craft beer, and more. How about Thursday beer night and happy hour from 2 to 6 p.m.? Join us Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Attending an event downtown Saginaw? Show us your tickets for 10% off your entire purchase. Support small, get on board, and we hope to see you inside the boardroom.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Some fake news in Michigan in the form of a newspaper called the Michigan Catholic Tribune. While it appears to be real, the paper has a lot of political opinions, including things about banning books, and lists politicians and their views on abortion and other issues. A spokeswoman for the Diocese of Grand Rapids says it looks like a publication from the diocese, but she says it isn't and has no connection to the church. A Wayne County man is facing multiple charges for the alleged kidnapping of his former girlfriend. Michigan News Network's Sandra McNeil has this report.
Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy has charged 22-year-old Jeremy Brock in connection with the unlawful imprisonment and torture of a 23-year-old woman from Flat Rock. Brock forced the victim from her home at gunpoint back on September 16th. She says he forced her to steal a car, then held the victim in a hotel room through November the 1st, frequently beating her with a baseball bat. Police were called in on the case when the couple turned up at a convenience store and the woman was trying to run away. Brock is being held in jail on $300,000 bond, but can be released if he posts 10%. Sandra McNeil, Michigan News Network.
Have you seen the wallaby? The Monroe County Sheriff is asking for tips on the whereabouts of a wallaby that escaped from an exotic animal facility. The wallaby has been running free in Bedford Township. Officials say there's no need to fear the marsupial that looks like a kangaroo, but it will stay away from people and pets. Anyone who spots the wallaby is asked to call the Monroe County Sheriff Central Dispatch. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1110. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see increasing cloud cover here for today with a high around 70 degrees. Winds out of the south around 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. And then for tonight, most breezy and a low around 60. Saturday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers here late. Cloudy skies, high of 68 degrees. Then on Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 64. Monday, plenty of blue skies and sun, high 57. Tuesday, sunny, high of 55. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Currently, it's 61.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities. On 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you, and welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW, brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax with 2 X's. For a number of years now, the Bay City Noon Optimist Club has presented a travelogue series, and it continues. We're going to talk about that this morning with a couple of folks. First of all, from the Bay City Noon Optimist and one of the driving forces in this travelogue series, we say good morning to Guy Grieve. Guy, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Thank you for having us on again.
Absolutely. And also with us is the man whose travelogue will be seen coming up that we're going to be talking about, Rick Ray. Rick, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for being with us. So, Guy, before we get into Rick's film, talk about this travelogue series. How long has it been around and what got it started?
This is our 30th season, Art. I never thought it would last this long, but at least with me as the chair. But when I was a child, my dad took me to a Kiwanis travelogue at Oriam. And I was very impressed by it. They eventually stopped doing it. We were at many years later at a planning conference up in northern Michigan. I saw a poster in the window for the travelogue series, and I said, oh, that must be the same as what Dad took me to. I contacted the agent who was listed on the bottom, and sure enough, and they said that Midland had been doing it for 30-some years. And I thought, well, if Midland can do it for 30-some years, and they were doing it 2 nights a week, 5 shows, and I thought, a week easily in Bay City. So we started it up, and it's been a great success. We've raised close to $300,000 for youth work in the community through these years.
So the next one is this Monday, right?
This Monday with Rick Ray, his East African Safari. Rick has been with us, this is at least his third, maybe his fourth time, and he's terrific. He is absolutely terrific. They're a great filmmaker, great presenter. The audience loves him, and everyone should try to make that show if possible. It's only $10 at the door or $25 for our season ticket.
And we'll remind everybody of that before we go. But Rick, why travel logs as a career? What got you started in that?
Well, first of all, Guy, that's a very hard intro to live up to. Goodness gracious. You know, I'm a graduate of film school, much to my parents' dismay. I attended the University of California at Santa Barbara, and at one point was interested in getting into Hollywood filmmaking, and actually got a job on Ripley's Believe It or Not television show many years ago, which some of your listeners probably will remember, with Jack Palance as the host.
Yes.
Right, and I really didn't enjoy working in Hollywood as much as you get kind of pigeonholed out there, and you're doing one small task. And at one point, Jack Palance said to me, "Why don't you buy a camera, a notebook, and go out and tell stories of your own?" I was 25 years old.
Wow.
So I really did that. I quit work on Ripley's Believe It or Not. I bought a backpack, a camera, started writing, traveling, and making movies, and the rest is history.
You chose a career path I once thought about. Just when I graduated college and before I went to work full time in broadcasting, I worked for a film company in New York City. And I actually had considered film editing as a career, but the broadcasting bug was in my head and it wasn't going to leave. So that's my story.
Well, one of the things that's really fun about these filmmakers that come to Bay City is that we're all in. We do it all.
Right.
We do the traveling, we do the storytelling, we do the writing, and we do the editing. And it's not that often that a filmmaker gets to have wear all those hats and try to do them well. So that's why if you like the film, you can congratulate me. And if you don't like the film, then, it's pretty much his fault.
Yeah, I got you. All right, we're going to talk about the film about East Africa in just a couple of minutes. I've got to take a break and we'll come back. So we talk to Guy Grieve from the Bay City Noon Optimist and Rick Ray, the travelographer, if you will, who will be presenting on Monday.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's place RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
Virginia, Kansas, Berkeley, Ventura, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland. Paul Young has been everywhere, man. But he hasn't spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young has been away from Michigan for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending over $1 million a congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda in Congress, and it's not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting Medicare and Social Security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies against lower prescription prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. PAC, the HouseMajorityPAC.com, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Do you have Medicare questions? Confused by all those TV ads? There are options available to you now through December. Or at Medicare Choices of Saginaw, they can put together a program unique to you, even a no copay plan. That's right, no copay. Their hybrid Medicare plan helps you save at least half of a Medicare supplement plan with no premium increases each and every year. Talk to Medicare Choices. It'll be the best call you ever made. Call 989-899-7820. Medicare Choices of Saginaw. Again, 989-899-7820.
He's going to go down the near side. Malcolm, touchdown Saginaw Valley.
After a heartbreaking loss against Davenport, the SVSU Cardinals when they travel to Marquette for a Saturday afternoon showdown against Northern Michigan at 12:30 p.m. on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. SVSU football is brought to you by Westside Decorating Center, Mercantile Bank, Jake and Nathan Neurosurgery, United Financial Credit Union, A-Plus Plumbing, and Forward Energy.
Saginaw Valley State University football on WSGW. Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery show studios. This is WSGW.
And we're back with you here on WSGW's Focus program, talking to Guy Grieve from the Bay City Noon Optimist Club about their Travelogue series, and the man presenting at the next one, Rick Ray. So, Rick, let's talk about this this Travelogue, the wheres and whys, and what we're going to see.
Okay. Well, the show is going to be about East Africa, and the focus is on how to take an East Africa. And when we think about East Africa, this generally means we're going to Kenya and Tanzania. But I've thrown in a bonus in the program because a lot of people today are also going to go gorilla trekking, which is a great thing to do, by the way. So we're going to go to Rwanda as well and go gorilla trekking in the highlands of Rwanda. But basically, many people want to know how to take a safari. They think about doing it, they want to do it, but they really don't know the first thing about how to book one, really satisfying, and what to expect when you go on one. So this is going to be a primer on Monday of sort of just, you've got the idea. You'd like to go. You don't know how yet. You don't know what to see or what you'll be doing. And I'll be filling you in on how to start.
Why Africa? Because this is not the first one you've done in Africa.
Actually, I had a previous one that some of the audience might have seen just a year ago, in which we went to South Africa and Namibia, and had quite an adventure there. And that's a kind of safari to get into. Africa has fascinated me for all of my travels. I just find it to be one of the great wonders of the world, and place to go to really see things that I think inspire. And so for many, that will start in either South Africa or it will start in East Africa. And these are kind of the safe and sane destinations to have a safari.
When a person like yourself, a videographer, goes to shoot a travelogue like this in Hollywood, when you make a movie, it's all blocked out. There are scene shots all specified. When you do a travelogue, do you block it out or are you shooting from the hip?
Well, we're generally one or two man crews, so we're not going in with a whole lot of trailers and foods. There's no catering. And we have the great advantage of doing it that way is that you have minimal impact. You know the people you meet, you see on the streets. You're really kind of almost undercover in the countries that you go to. So we're able to tell much more intimate stories than a Hollywood film crew would be able to do. But we also don't have any of the comforts and easy living. Now, having said that, the safari that we're going to take through Kenya and Tanzania is kind of a high-end one. We're going to be flying from one park to the next in a small private aircraft. We'll be going to all the heard of, like Serengeti. We'll be going to Kilimanjaro, to Ngorongoro, Tarangire. We'll be living in a lodge in the treetops, an actual apartment that's about 70 feet up in the trees. And we'll be doing it kind of, Well, I'd say a little bit comfortably.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, huh?
Yeah, and I think one of the most fun lodges that we'll be staying at is a place called Giraffe Manor. And this is, you may have heard of it, but it's an Old English estate. It's a manor, 3-story high Old English building, but they raise giraffes on the grounds. And the giraffes are trained to come and stick their head in the windows. So if you have a third story there, you'll have a little bowl of what looks like dog kibble sitting on the nightstand. And at certain times, a big giraffe will come and stick its head right into the window and ask you for a handful, or even try to take a handful of this kibble from you. They also interrupt your dinners, but that's part of the fun at Giraffe Manor.
That would be. Yeah, that would be. All right, so Guy, let's talk about the nitty-gritty of the time, the place, the cost, and all that good stuff.
All right, Art. Showtime is 7 p.m. this coming Monday, November 7 at the State Theater. Tickets are available in advance at the theater or at Herder Music. Tickets, $25. If you just want a ticket for Monday night, they're $10, only available at the door. The season includes a show on England, Monday, January 9th, and then on March 20th, India, on the edge of discovery. Now, I've been to both and did some law school in England and spent about 3 weeks in India, and it's a fascinating place. So I would highly recommend buying the season tickets. And you can also get the season tickets the night of our show. Tickets, write a check. It's made out to the Bay City Noon Optimist Club. No.
And you get to sit in that beautiful theater.
Yes, a gorgeous theater. Old Mayan design. There are only I think 2 others.
So, Rick, what's next in your adventures?
Well, I've taken a more serious turn in my latest travels. I've just come back from, basically Ukraine, being in the war in Ukraine.
Whoa.
And I really, I spent 6 weeks traveling through Ukraine and not doing a travel log this time, but actually using my skills, kind of volunteering my skills, if you will, to tell the stories of the people who are going through that terrible situation.
More of a documentary.
It's much more of a news kind of documentary film.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been quite an experience now to come back to America.
That'll be fascinating. Well, Rick, thanks for spending some time with us this morning, and good luck on Monday.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you then.
Yep. Guy, thank you much, as always.
You've been supporting us for many, many years, Art, and I thank you so very much.
No problem, Guy. Thanks many. We'll talk to you again.
Good.
Bye-bye now. Guy Grieve and Rick Ray, the Travelogue Monday, 7 o'clock at the State Theater in downtown Bay City. Take our last break. We come back. We'll head off to the marketplace with Baird and Company.
Save up to 50% on a hot tub or swim spa at the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Browse the largest display of hot tubs and swim spas in the region. See swim spas in action offering exercise, therapy, and fun all year long. Over 40 spas will be on display from 5 major brands at huge discounts. Financing is available and show admission and parking are free. That's the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Visit hottubexpo.com.